Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavatpada Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badharayanam Sutrabhashya Kritav Vande Bhagavantav Punah Punah Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Sadgurum Pranatosmyaham Hari Om. Let us read verses 54, 55, and 56. We had seen these three verses last class. Vastasvarupam sputhabodhachakshusha svenaiva vedyam natu panditena chandrasvarupam nijachakshushaiva ज्ञातव्यमन्यैरवगम्यते किम् अविद्या कामकर्मादि पाशबन्धं विमोचितुम् कशक्नुयात् विनात्मानं कल्पकोटिशतैरपि न योगेन साङ्ख्येन कर्मणा नो न विद्यया ब्रह्मात्मैकत्वबोधेन मोक्षससिद्धये नान्यता. So in verse 54, he gave a very nice example. If there is a beautiful Sharat Purnima, an autumnal full moon, and you want to enjoy that beautiful moon, you have to use your own eyes. Your eyes alone will give you the maximum enjoyment. Somebody else looking at the moon and giving you a wonderful description, however great the description is, he may be a poet, he may be a Kalidasa describing that. Okay, but still, you will not get the same enjoyment as when you look at it. with your own eyes. So in the same way, Bhashyakara emphasizes that you have to work for your moksha, liberation. Somebody else cannot do that for you. Somebody else cannot do that for you. You have to do it yourself. The same idea is further repeated in verse 55 to emphasize this point that purushartha, self-effort, is utmost important. Other people can help. They can give assistance. Guru can help through his teaching. Of course, he helps. Shastra can also assist. The jnanam is there in the Shastras. So studying the Shastras will be beneficial. Guru Kripa, of course, Guru Kripa. Shastra Kripa, yes, it can help. But even Ishvara Kripa, they all give only assist. None of them can replace your self-effort, your free will, your Purushartha. And as I pointed out last class, that self-effort alone is not enough. That self-effort should be in the right direction. You cannot be doing something and hope to get. No, it should be directed correctly and it should be done for sufficient length of time. It should be adequate also, an adequate measure. All of them are important. And this was said in the 56th verse. Yoga, Sankhya, Karma, nor Upasana. None of them will give you moksha. Only the knowledge of identity of Brahma and Atma. Only that knowledge will give you liberation. Only through Advaita Jnanam alone liberation is attained, not by any other means. All other means, Sahakari Sadhana, they help. So thus, after introducing the importance of self-knowledge, he begins the discussion on the study of Vedanta Shastra that will give this knowledge. See, we have so many disciplines of knowledge. So many sciences are there. Many material sciences are there in the secular side. Then in the religious side, Shiksha, Kalpa, Vyakaranam, Niruktam, Chanda, Jyotisham, Upasana. Like that, so many branches are there. They all talk about Chaturdasha Vidyastani, 14 disciplines of scriptural sciences. And in that we talk about Atma Jnanam, one discipline. Here Shankaracharya says that this spiritual knowledge is also a knowledge only, but do not take it as one of those disciplines. It's just not one in the crowd. No. There is a difference. There is a difference between all other knowledge and spiritual knowledge. All others are aparavidya. Aparavidyas. And this one is paravidya. We will discuss this idea of aparavidya and paravidya extensively in Mundakopanishad. When we start the study, some of you have studied with me years ago, but we will do it again. In about a year or so, we will do that. And at that time, we will discuss this elaborately. So all the material sciences, secular sciences, they are all aparavidya. But this is spiritual science, paravidya. Of course, in Sanskrit, the word jnanam is commonly used for all of them. If you study tarka, logic, the knowledge of that science, called Jnanam only. If you study Vyakarana, grammar, what you get is Vyakarana Jnana, knowledge of grammar. And a Jnani is one who has Jnanam. So studying any secular or spiritual science, I can claim myself to be a Jnani. But truly speaking, studying Brahma Vidya, only that person can claim he is a true Jnani. Even though we call everyone a Jnani, there is this important difference between any Jnani and a Brahma Jnani. Therefore, the word Jnani remaining the same, a big difference is there. While one Jnani knows Brahmatma Aikyam, that identity between Brahman and Atman, other Jnanis know everything other than this. So Bhagavan Shankaracharya first differentiates Vedanta Shastra from all other Shastras of this world. The Vedanta Shastra deals with Atma. So that alone is called Atma Vidya or Brahma Vidya or Paravidya. All other Shastras, including Karma, Upasana portions of the Vedas, they all deal only with Anatma. So they are all Aparavidya. Now the study of both Shastras, Aparavidya and Paravidya, are similar only. The process is the same. Both of them have words, sentences, paragraphs, chapters, books. And on original text, there are commentaries. Of course, there are commentaries on Aparavidya also. There are commentaries on Paravidya also. We study all that. Upanishad also, words are there, sentences are there, sections are there, chapters are there, books are there, commentaries are there, sub-commentaries are there, sub-commentaries are there. So both of them, Apara as well as Paravidya, look very similar, very, very similar. The method of the study is the same. You come to the class, the teacher gives lectures, and all of you have done that already. When you are studying whatever you study, science, arts, mathematics, economics, finance, medical sciences, law, whatever it is. You went to school, attended classes, the lecturers were there, the professors were there. You listen to them, you ask questions. The teacher answered those questions. That is the systematic approach. Same approach we follow here also. You're also coming week after week to these classes. You listen to what I have to say, and if you're attending other lectures, whatever the teacher says, you listen to them. You have questions, you ask, questions get clarified. That's how it works. But here you're asking questions like, what is Jiva? What is Jagat? What is Ishvara? What is Twampada? What is Tatpada? What is the direct meaning, Vachyartha? What is the implied or indirect or implied meaning, Lakshyartha? What do you mean by Aikyam? What exactly does it entail? So, in fact, the well-qualified student has come up with systematically developed 7 questions. Remember, not too long ago, we covered those 7 questions. And Bhashyakara here is going to answer these 7 questions. Very systematic study. No different from what you studied in schools and colleges and universities. But still, there is a difference. There is a difference between those secular sciences and this spiritual science. Between aparavidya and paravidya, there is a great difference. One is a liberating knowledge that aparavidyas, those sciences, they give knowledge, all right, but that is not a liberating knowledge. Whereas the spiritual knowledge, Atma Vidya, Brahma Vidya, that knowledge is going to give you liberation. The other Aparavidya, they are non-liberating knowledge, but worse, they are binding scriptures, binding science. At the end of many years of study of secular sciences, one finds there is a lot more that I have to know. That is why the student in Mundakoparishad, he has a question. What is that which knowing which everything gets to be known, there is nothing more to know? That is this knowledge, Paravidya. So the Paravidya will give you fulfillment, completeness. As I said, having known this, there is nothing more to know. Shankaracharya says, one who studies Aparavidya is called a Vidwan. And one who studies Paravidya is also called a Vidwan. Vidwan means Vidyavan, one who is endowed with Vidya, one who has Vidya. So Aparavidya also makes a person Vidwan. Paravidya also makes a person Vidwan. After Aparavidya, I can claim I'm a Jnani. Now I have the knowledge of this Aparavidya. Technically speaking, I can call myself a Jnani. Similarly, one who has grasped Paravidya is also a Jnani. But Bhashyakara says, though the words are same, Jnani, Vidwan, Panditah, and it applies to both one who pursues aparavidya and paravidya and gains that knowledge. But there is a big difference. He brings that out in the next verses. So let us read verse 57. Vinaya Rupa Saundaryam Vinaya Rupa Saundaryam Tantrivadana Saushthavam Tantrivadana Saushthavam Prajaranjana Matram Tat Prajaranjana Matram Tat Na Samrajyaya Kalpate न साम्राज्याय कल्पते वीणाया रूपसौन्दर्यम् वीणाया रूपसौन्दर्यम् तन्त्रीवादनसौष्ठवम् प्रजारञ्जनमात्रं तत् न samrajyaya kalpate. Now here Bhagwan Shankaracharya gives an example. It's a beautiful example. he takes the word Raja. Raja. The word Raja is derived from the root Ranj, to please. To please a person, to give joy, to give happiness. The one who does that, Ranjanath Raja. A king is called Raja because he has to satisfy the people over whom he is ruling. That is how we get the word Raja. He makes the citizens happy. He provides everything that the citizenry needs so that they can all be happy. If you ask if that is happening these days, sorry, let's not get into that. Okay. But that is what it should be. The ruler, the Raja, he is called the Raja because he makes the citizens happy. Whatever is required, he should provide. Keep them happy. We also know that this Raja is the master. He's the ruler. He's the controller. He has the Prabhutvam. He's the Prabhu. He has the Swamitvam. He's the Swami. He's the master. He has mastery over his subject. He has sovereignty over the subjects. We all know that Raja is great. Rajatvam is great. Shankaracharya says, suppose there is a person who has a wonderful veena. You all know that veena is a nice, beautiful musical instrument, a stringed musical instrument. And this person is an expert in playing that veena. And he gives a musical concert. So veena concert, and many people have come there. And with his play, the entire audience is very happy. They enjoy that concert. So through this musical concert, what has he accomplished? Jana Ranjanam. He has made the Jana, the people, happy. So the Veena player also is doing Jana Ranjanam. So according to grammar rules, he can also be called a Raja. He has made people happy. But do you see the difference between a real king, a ruler of a country, ruler of a kingdom, and this musical virtuoso? Even though that Veena exponent, he can claim himself or herself to be a Raja. There is a difference. That Raja, the ruler of the kingdom, the original one, he has the Samrajyam. He has that kingdom. He has the sovereignty over the whole empire. Whereas the Vidwan does not have sovereignty over even his own family. So after the nice concert, he comes home. Poor fellow. His wife does not appreciate music. She didn't even bother to accompany him to the concert. And on top of that, after that, she yells at him. Okay. I'm just joking, okay? Don't read anything more than that. So he's not able to make his wife happy. He made all the people who came to that concert happy. So the word Raja remaining the same. One has freedom. He is able to control, have mastery over so many people. The other one, not so much. Here also, you can call that Veena Vidwan and give him the title Raja. And sometimes we call him Raja of Veena. But he does not have any samrajya. He may be a poor, starving artist. It's possible. Similarly, all the aparavidyas can make a person a jnani. Paravidya also makes a person jnani. The word jnani remaining the same. There is a huge difference. So do not take Vedantic study as any other study. Okay? Even though the method of study is the same. So that is what Bhagwan Shankaracharya is trying to drive home this point. What we have taken up, study of Vivekacu, and of course, this is a Vedantic text. Okay, do not take it lightly. Because the results that you're going to get is incomparable by any other study. The process is the same. You're going to do the same thing that you did in schools and colleges. Here also, you have to attend these classes. You should not miss even one class. If you miss, there will be problems because the continuity is not there. I know we do miss classes here and there, so many, and that is why the recordings are there. So you should catch up. Ideally, a live attendance is the best. The next best is watching, reading, listening to the lectures. So you should give this the utmost importance. This is the idea. So look at the verse. Veenaya rupa saundaryam. Suppose a person has a veena and it is decorated beautifully. Saundaryam. It's beautiful. And of course, it's tuned very nicely, perfectly, and it produces melodious sounds also. And you have a musical maestro who can play that veena also. So first he says about the rupa, and then he talks about shabda, sound. Thus it is janaranjakam, pleasing, rupa drishtya, by looking. Visually also makes you happy. Shabda drishtya, audibly, the music that is played. Because the player, the instrumentalist, has tantri vadana saushthavam. He has the expertise. He is an expert, skill in tantri vadanam, in playing the strings. You know, veena is a stringed instrument, and he can play that. The sound of music he produces is mesmerizing. It delights the people. So with all that, technically speaking, he can claim that he's a Raja. Therefore, Shankaracharya says, Praja Ranjana Matram Tat, that he is able to delight the people. He's a Raja. He is doing Praja Ranjanam, pleasing the people. So he can have the title Raja. He may even be called Veena Raja. But he cannot have Samrajyaya na kalpate, a sovereignty over a kingdom. A real Raja, a real king, he would enjoy that. The Veena Raja does not enjoy that power. Only the name alone is similar. The title does not give him any power. Similarly, the Jnani status is gained by studying Aparavidya. Jnani status is also gained by studying Paravidya. Words are the same, but the consequences widely different, very different. Now, one more example. Pandityam. People get carried away by oratorical skill. Oh, he's such a wonderful speaker, a great orator. People are spellbound hearing him. He quotes from the scriptures, Eastern philosophy, Western philosophy, Greek, Latin, Urdu, Farsi, Sanskrit, and many Indian languages also. Listen, verse 58. वाग्वैखरी शब्दझरी वाग्वैखरी शब्दझरी शास्त्रव्याख्यानकौशलम् शास्त्रव्याख्यानकौशलम् वैदुष्यं विदुषां तद्वद् वैदुष्यं विदुषां तद्वत् भुक्तये न तु मुक्तये भुक्तये न तु मुक्तये वाग्वैखरी शब्दझरी शास्त्रव्याख्यानकौशलम् वैदुष्यं विदुषां तद्वद् भुक्तये न तु मुक्तये. So now in the following verses, Shankaracharya talks about the Vedantic study itself. He wants all Vedantic students. He gives a warning by pointing out that the students should have a proper attitude towards Vedantic study. If it's not there, the Vedantic study may not liberate a person. And still worse, the Vedantic study will become another type of golden shackle. It will become a bondage. If it's not properly used, it can also become a bondage. It can become a scholarship trip. Pandityam. We have to be very alert. If we're not very alert, we will fall into the trap. Therefore, Shankaracharya warns against that very strongly. So in many verses, he's going to discuss this topic. The aim of Vedantic study is to remove all psychological dependencies, which we call samsara. Ajnani, as an Ajnani, I depend upon so many factors to make me happy. We're not talking about physical dependence, which is unavoidable. No, I need food, I need clothing, I need shelter. When I grow old, I may need a walking stick or people to help me. All that is there. Sure, Vedanta does not cure or remove any of such physical dependencies. Here we are dealing with emotional, psychological dependence, depending upon external factors for sense of security, sense of fulfillment, sense of shanti, peace, purnata, completeness, etc. Now, based on this dependence, we classify people into four types. One dependence is the dependence of the majority, dependence on the world to be happy, to be comfortable. I depend on the world, which also means the people around. People are not around, I'm not happy. Even though all my needs are taken care of. Somebody is there to cook the food. But I'm not happy. I want this particular person to cook. Some people insist not only that this person should cook, only this person should serve me. I'm not happy if my wife does not serve me or my mother does not serve me. Then I do not eat properly. I'm giving you, I know, some ridiculous examples, but you do find all that. This is a psychological dependence, dependence on the world. The world comes under anatma only. Then comes the next one, dependence on God. We say we don't depend on the world all the time because the objects in the world are perishable, it does not last long, and people also change the mind. So we say don't depend upon the world, start depending on God. So have an Ishta Devata, your personal God. Have Rama Bhakti or Krishna Bhakti or Devi Bhakti, like that. So from world dependence, you have come to God dependence. So once we have learned sufficiently, the Shastra says that even dependence on God is still a dependence. As long it is a personal God. That personal God, that God uh, to whom you have given a personality, a form, etc. That is also dependence. And when you do that, what happens? Just as gopis were happy when Sri Krishna came, when they were around Bhagavan Sri Krishna, they were happy. And they started crying when he went away. They were more miserable at that time. And heaven forbid they went to another gopi. There's even God dependence makes you unhappy. That should be dropped also. So if you have to drop God dependence also, you should learn to depend upon yourselves. And for that, you should get the self-knowledge. You should discover your own inner strength, self-knowledge. For that, you have to go to a guru. Therefore, God dependence is now switched over to guru dependence. But that guru dependence is also a dependence. Because that is also a dependence. So you better be careful. So you have to transcend guru dependence also. That is our aim. What does the guru do? He hands over the Shastra to you. He says you have to do the Shravanam, you have to listen. But do not stop with Shravanam. You have to do Mananam. Reflect upon the teaching. Make sure you have no doubts, no questions. Get the conviction in the truth that was revealed to you. And then you have to do Nididhyasana. You should dwell upon that teaching. Of course, you have to do whilst you are doing the study and afterward also. At that stage, I've dropped Guru dependence. But I'm holding on to Shastra. Shastra is also Anatma. Depends on Shastra is also within samsara only. But eventually, I have to drop that also. So drop all of them. But don't drop them prematurely. All of them are there initially to help you. And once you have gotten what you need to get from them, then you can drop the dependence. So do not get lost in the scholarship of Shastra. Always ask the question, what am I studying this for? It's not for enjoying Vedanta as a sense object. Do not convert Vedanta into another sense object. My aim in life is not to see how many Upanishads I have studied. Have I studied Bhagavad Gita? Have I studied Brahma Sutra? Have I covered all 10 Upanishads, major Upanishads, and a few minor Upanishads? That's not the barometer. The message of all Upanishads is the same. Did I get that message? That is what is most important. That message is that I am Brahman. I should gain that realization and abide in the truth. Do not forget that. Don't miss that. Vedanta is not for scholarship. That scholarship trap is the biggest trap. Therefore, he says, just as that Veena virtuoso, his skill playing the instrument is good for entertainment, but not for governing an empire, a kingdom. Vag Vaikari, a person might have a powerful speech. Vak means speech, Vaikari means powerful, eloquent. Person might be very eloquent in his speech, a great orator in the field of Vedanta. Shabd Jhari, he might enjoy a wonderful flow of words. The words just roll out of his tongue without pausing, without any hesitation. Words may flow like that. It is a waterfall of words, Shabd Jhari, a torrential flow of words, like the water gushing out of a dam when the floodgates are open. People may glorify him. How nicely he speaks. And how the words he chooses are so apt. Perfect. No extra word, no single word missing, nothing left out, no redundancy, nothing. Perfect. And Bhashyakara says, even that does not make a difference. Shastra Vyakhyana Kaushalam. He might have excellent skill to comment upon scriptural texts, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, Brahma Sutra, Prakarana Granthas, even advanced Vedanta Granthas called Siddhi Grantha, Naishkarmya Siddhi. All these he may be able to comment upon very eloquently. All this is Vidusham Vaidushyam, scholarship of the scholars. All that scholarship does not guarantee anything. In fact, they can become another bondage, another sense pleasure. Tad bhuktaye bhavati. Proper attitude is not there. The aim is forgotten. It can become a simple intellectual kick, thrill, that's all. As a scholar, I will compare myself with other scholars. And if one particular scholar, if he or she is a greater scholar and is praised by others, I feel so bad. That means among scholars also there is competition, consequently misery. Samsara is there also. What to do? Therefore, he says, be careful. Tadvad bhuktaye, like that Veena Vidvana Vedanta can become a source of sense pleasure. Bhuktihi means pleasure, sense pleasure. Natu muktaye, it's not for liberation. It's not a generalization. We should not conclude, therefore, I should not study Vedanta. Proper attitude is not there. Vedanta cannot liberate. Fearing that, don't say, I will not study Vedanta. No, no, no. The liberation will definitely be there if you do it right. Be very clear about why you have taken up the study of Vedanta. It is for me to gain and abide in the knowledge of Vedanta, not to become a scholar of Vedanta. Idea is if proper approach is not there, if the purpose of the study is lost, Vedanta cannot liberate you from samsara. Therefore, the idea is not to give up Vedanta, but make sure that you do not lose sight of your goal, the goal for which you have taken up the study of Vedanta. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.